I believe we have a problem. And the problem is, what are you doing in blackface, black man? Drake has a history of disrespecting Puffy. And I've got the video footage to prove it.
Here's a new blind item that is allegedly about Wendy Williams and people who are trying to control her life. Why is the illiterate former talk show host team keeping her family and close friends away while she's in rehab, while she's allegedly being sent gifts and scripts to her while in this facility? Something doesn't add up. Someone wants all the control.
Here's a new blind item that purports to be about Wendy Williams and those attempting to control her life. Why is the team of illiterate former talk show hosts keeping her family and close friends at a distance while she's in rehab? Something doesn't add up. Someone wants complete control. I know many of us are thankful to Dot for exposing Drake's truth, but what if I told you that someone else has already gone down that path and was burned for it? Who is this brave? The talk show presenter Wendy Williams was never a huge admirer of Drake. Instead, back in the day, she called out the rapper for his anti-black views, problematic behaviors, and dubious treatment of black women. You ask who dared to stand up against the elites. Well, Wendy Williams is the one. Wendy accomplished everything. But if you've been observing, you've noticed that she's not in her element these days. The simple explanation for this is that she paid a price for exposing Drake before Kendrick. And it's possible that Drake's bosses actually silenced her. Let us investigate.
So you don't write your own music, so anything that you say is not really from your heart. I like people who write their own music, you know what I mean?
Wendy Screams Drake recently released a new song, The Story of Addie Dawn. Back in 2018, Drake was overburdened by Pusha T, who used a photo of Drake dressed in blackface as the cover art for the song. Initially, fans believed Pusha had altered the photo, but later on, the rapper tweeted that he wasn't pulling any punches. The rapper wrote, "Please stop referring to this picture as artwork. I'm not an internet baby. I don't edit pictures." These are his truths. See for yourself. Drake was having trouble explaining his side of the story. He wrote, "This wasn't from a clothing brand shoot or my music career. This picture is from 2007, a time in my life where I was an actor and I was working on a project that was about young black actors struggling to get roles being stereotyped and typified. The images depicted how African Americans were once inaccurately portrayed in entertainment." And he added, "To highlight and raise our frustrations with not always getting a fair chance in the industry, and to make a point that the struggle for black actors had not much changed." It was a bloodbath, and Wendy was the one having the time of her life while others read him to filth.
With the cha-cha-cha hands at that, a big stupid cha-cha-cha smile.
However, that dubious photo was just the beginning. Pusha informing everyone about his secret son was causing Drake to lose sleep, and Wendy made a parallel between Drake and his father. Dennis Graham, when Dennis was a toddler, he walked out on Drake, only to come back in and be paraded around him. If you look closely, Drake ultimately did the same thing, trying to expose the truth to fans about how horrible Drake was for keeping his son hidden from the public.
I believe that Drake has enough money to spread around, you know.
She also had a field day when Drake admitted
Wendy has always been somewhat interested in Drake's affairs. Back in February 2017, during a stop in Manchester, England, on his Boy Meets World tour, a woman took Drake to court, alleging that he had mistreated her and had gotten her pregnant. Drake responded immediately with another lawsuit, but his legal team rejected the claim, stating that enough was enough. Drake is refusing to let Lila get away with her plot to extort millions of dollars from him by threatening to go public with salacious and constantly changing false allegations of conduct that simply did not occur. Wendy thoroughly enjoyed covering the situation. Despite fans' expectations of a bloodbath, Drake and Alila were able to reach an agreement outside of the courtroom. Alila and her attorneys underestimated Drake's steadfast resolve not to pay hush money to avoid negative publicity arising from fabricated claims. He looks forward to holding Alila and those working in concert with her responsible for her egregious misconduct.
Listen, there is this woman who is suing Drake, claiming that he got her pregnant. Excuse me. He's suing her. Well, because this woman is claiming that he got her pregnant and that she's trying to restore him, and then accused him of. Well, before I show you her picture, let me just say that Drake has always been very specific. He likes a gigantic behind, and he likes well-appointed breasts and a very small waist in between. Might I present to you Layla Lake?
She also gave Drake some timeless counsel.
Drake alleges that she was upset because he sent her on her way the next day. And in my mind, I'm like, Drake, what part of next day don't you understand? There are people that you hit and quit, like quick. I mean, it's not the 70s, and God knows, the STDs out here and everything like that. But you have to, if you know that somebody's only with you for a moment, then dismiss them. They're not to go in your minibar. They're not ordering room service afterwards. Even women understand that. Ladies, do you understand that?
However, even if this tea is hot, it's nothing compared to when Wendy confronted Drake about his mistreatment of black women. Yes, it is correct. Although some of you might find it absurd, Dot revealed the man Drake genuinely expresses his hatred of black women in his song Meet the Grams. While fans were busy talking about how Kendrick checked Drake for his dubious company, most of them missed the part where he talked about Drake hating on black women. He hypes them with kinks of a Nimo fetish and grows facial hair because he understands being a beard just fits him better. He got cinders on Hovio that he keeps on a monthly allowance. However, as you are aware, Drake never fires a gun in the air, so you may assume he is fully guilty of this. Additionally, the Canadian rapper was dissing Megan Thee Stallion during the summer of 2020. The rapper was shot in the foot by her then-boyfriend Tory Lanez. If you find the allegations hard to believe, take a trip down memory lane to Drake's 2022 song Circo Loco, where he rapped this B-word lie about getting shots, but she's still a stallion. Tory was sentenced to 10 years in prison for what she had done to Megan, but many people believe that she had been lying, and guess who was at the top of that list? Drake. Megan, however, was not going to take no for an answer, so she checked to see if Drake had used her name in his 2 seconds of fame, writing, "Stop using my shoes, shooting for." Influenced the B word, since when is it okay to make jokes about women getting shot? Rappers, in particular, are lame and willing to boycott clothing and shoes, but when a black woman claims that one of your homeboys mistreated her, fans jump all over her. If you think that's bad, wait until you hear what Drake said about Rihanna back in 2023. In the track Fear of Heights, the rapper opened up about an old flame, but it wasn't the kind of reminiscing that left fans feeling more like Drake tries to persuade everyone that it wasn't him who got stuck in the track that explains their success. Seem like I'm still hung up on you, but wait and hear what he says next. You could never be my goal, ruining me more for him than for me. That man is still with you. He can't leave you. You two go on vacation. I bet it's Antigua. Drake says, I'm Eddie. And the S was average with you. Yeah, I'm auntie because I had it with you. Okay, I'm auntie like your daddy's sister, auntie like a family picture, and I had way better BO than you, TBF. Indeed, he went there, and wow, we fans are furious. I get that the guy was rejected by Rihanna for A$AP Rocky, but this was really going too far. Wendy, in particular, was not amused by the call-out and didn't believe that Rihanna and Drake were in it for the long run.
I have to tell you something. In our bureau meeting this morning, none of us could ever remember them legitimately dating, like holding hands and stuff like that. At least when Jennifer Lopez goes out with Alex, they're holding hands like a couple. They're a couple. This right here is not a date. And him going on stage and professing his love to her is not a date. That's what I call a stunt. Them falling out of a club together at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting in the same car service and going back to the hotel, that's not a date, that's a thing.
Furthermore, it appears that Drake has a penchant for pursuing powerful black women. Drake called Serena Williams' husband a groupie in the song Middle of the Ocean. The artist goes sidebar. I mean, why else would he attack her? The woman has nothing to do with the game. Serena's husband, Alexis Ohanian, clapped back, saying, "The reason I stay winning is because I'm relentless about being the absolute best at whatever I do, including being the best groupie for my wife and daughter." Still, Drake's call-out was completely uncalled for. In fact, even Kendrick checked Drake for going after Serena in his track, not like us saying from Alandra. "Serena, your husband, a groupie, claimed we don't have a problem. But no, boo, It's like you come in for sushi. We might pop up on him at will, like Suzuki. Down to Central, you better not talk about Serena. So you should trust Dot when he says Drake despises black women. Drake's disdain for black women isn't shocking and makes a lot of sense, according to one commenter. He wasn't reared as a Jewish Canadian man and was raised by a black father who most likely didn't enjoy the fact that he was black. Heaven only knows the things his mother said to him about black women. He was not raised in a culture that valued respect for black women. In fact, black men in hip-hop who have black mothers don't fully understand the value of black women, which is why they welcome Drake into the community. It wasn't until those same black males felt mistreated and exploited by him that they started to take offense and form an alliance. The reason they hired Kendrick to work against him was because they knew he would never really like the boy. After their tour together, Kendrick saw through Drake's malarkey and has been shooting subliminals for him ever since. However, none of this is new to people who have followed Wendy since she first attacked Drake for his disrespect for black women. At the time, people dismissed her comments, claiming that Wendy was simply being herself. However, it now appears that Wendy was somewhat prophetic. What's even more bizarre is that if Wendy had to choose between Diddy and Drake, she would probably pick Drake. Because Wendy believes that Drake is more problematic than Diddy, the two of them got into a fight in 2014 when they were at Livy Miami for DJ Khaled, the Temple's birthday. Bash during Basa Week when things unexpectedly got out of control. Nobody knows what went wrong. But according to some people, it ended with the knuckle sandwich and a "you won't disrespect me." Diddy gave Drake a makeover after he attempted to hit on Cassie. But a Maybach music affiliate who witnessed the incident, Sam Sneak, claims that it was not about Cassie at all. Rather, these two got into a heated argument over the earnings from an unidentified musical asset. Regardless, Drake should be relieved that he avoided going to the emergency room because Dibby is a street rapper, not our fluffy Canadian rapper. What's really interesting, though, is that Wendy had a lot to say about the situation.
As though he can walk around and disrespect a legend. Yeah, I said it. I can call it the way I see it. You know, who's better than Puff in terms of, longevity in this game? Being a mogul, being a rapper, producing and making hits. Who's better? Not Drake. I can't think of anybody at this particular time. And also, respect that man's age. He's almost 50. No, not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying. You should have punched him in the face back in February with the microphone from a lesser known.
Having said all of that, it's obvious that Wendy refused to support Drake throughout their feud, but fans still anticipated that she would speak up during the Rap B duel. However, she remained nothing. One blind item claims that Wendy has been out of the spotlight. It doesn't add up. Someone wants total control. For those of you who haven't been in the know as to why the illiterate former talk show presenter is supposedly receiving gifts and scripts while in treatment, and why her family and close friends are being kept at a distance. Since May 2023, Wendy has been absent from the public eye. It seems that not even her family has seen her. However, she did make an appearance with the release of her documentary examining her struggle with alcohol, her health, and her cognitive impairment. But even that sparked more concerns about Wendy's care and those of those around her, raising even more concerns. This is when things become spooky. Wendy has been placed under guardianship since the beginning of 2022. I want people to know that Wendy is a real person, and this is not some karma is a B thing, and talking is Wendy's whole claim to fame, Regina Shell said. I don't think she would be this quiet unless she was forced to be quiet now. Why should you be concerned by Regina's words? Regina Shell believes that her outspoken friend has been silenced. As an insider noted, there is no way in hell that she would not have responded to that Lifetime documentary with all of her family members appearing in it. Wendy would have undoubtedly had something to say about all of that. In the end, Wendy's situation raises a lot of questions. Regina has been Wendy's friend for 44 years. It's almost like Britney Spears 2.0. She's paying for her remarks on Drake. As we all know, Drake has strong support. He's even been connected to Lucien Grange. So it's unlikely that somebody like him would allow their source of income to be made public in such a way. Fans believe Wendy was onto something when she first made these comments, and they felt foolish for ignoring them. Another fan said, Wendy was always telling the truth. No one was supporting her love you. Wendy, queen of true gossip, and Wendy always had tea. What do you think of the situation? Do you think Wendy got taken out for telling the truth about Drake? And why didn't anyone pay attention to her words back then? Let us know in the comment section below.